Welcome to the Collaborative. I'm your host, Sydney Walker, along with Ryan Ballas. Today, we are joined by former University of Oregon and Carolina Panthers running back, Jonathan Stewart. He was selected 13th overall in the 2008 NFL Draft and played 10 seasons with the Panthers before retiring as a Panther in 2019. He finished his career as Carolina's all-time rushing leader with 7,318 career rushing yards. He now serves as a partner at Coast Creative and is involved with Inspire the Fire, a nonprofit that allows children to embrace their creative sides through art and music. So thanks for being here. Always great to see a fellow Duck.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good to see all the young collegiate faces.
So first up, we have Sid's This or That Eugene edition. So first up, Original Pancake House or Addie's Diner?
Ooh, Addie's Diner.
Oh, I'm an original pancake person. Their food's just so good.
Yeah, can't go wrong with a diner.
Spencer's Butte or Skinner's Butte?
Don't know the difference. What is that?
They're kind of the same, just Spencer's Butte is more for hiking and Skinner's Butte is just a lounge place.
Gotcha. I ain't do too much hiking.
I feel you. Dutch Bros or Starbucks?
Dutch Bros.
Oh, Starbucks girl over here. And last but not least, the most important one, Taylor's or Rennie's?
Taylor's. Taylor gang all day.
For those that don't know, it actually shut down.
Oh, man, for really? Well, I guess right now it should have definitely been shut down a long time ago. Probably all the bars need to be shut down.
But it actually closed on my 21st birthday, so got one last rally in.
Oh, man.
Jonathan, we all know you as one of the best backs to ever be in the NFL and probably one of the top backs to ever be at the University of Oregon. But we're going to start off this interview talking about your piano skills. You had the opportunity to perform at the Charlotte Symphony. How did you not only discover piano, but how have you turned that into a hobby?
I discovered it at a young age when I was really, really young. I got a piano for Christmas, and I just kind of was messing around with it and figured out that I could play by ear. And actually, when I got to University of Oregon, being in Barnhart, that was the first time I was actually exposed to an actual real piano downstairs. And so everybody would go, my freshman year, I was kind of a homebody, didn't really do too much. But I would, be downstairs as everyone's coming home from parties and from the bar, and I'm down there playing songs for people and taking requests. So, that was kind of where my piano skills really started picking up my freshman year in college. And I mean, it's one of those things where you can, playing football, it's, you are pretty much living and breathing, one extreme of just physical abuse, on a daily. And so it's always good to have that balance where you can come home and wind down and tap into another part of your brain by playing the piano.
Definitely. I think having that outlet that's totally like not a physical form of exercise or stress is super important. Thanks for sharing.
For sure.
So you had a very successful career, but can you take us back to the beginning and share what football meant to you growing up?
Football to me growing up was an opportunity. I've always been athletic and fast as a little kid, and but it was an opportunity for me to be, amongst my peers, to connect with my friends. But ultimately, as I went through, the stages of middle school, high school, and college, I've realized that it was more than just an opportunity. It was an opportunity to have a platform. And when you have a platform, that comes with responsibilities to inspire. and it's not much more, it's not really a responsibility. It's more of the word opportunity. I'm a big, that the word opportunity is huge for me because, um, you can win or lose in life if you don't see things as an opportunity to grow, um, you know, when things aren't going well, and an opportunity to really excel and bring others along with you when they are going well. But going back to the football thing, I mean, it was really just, God's way of, um, showing me, you know, who he is, through football. I've come from, Lacey, Washington, just a kid playing ball, and here I am now, currently the leading rusher for the Carolina Panthers. Until someone passes me, I'm pretty sure Christian will be knocking on the door pretty soon. But it's just, it's all about your platform and what you use, um, to to really, um, show people, that anything is possible, really, and, it's all about your mindset, with the given opportunity. So,
I love how you highlight the importance of your platform. So thank you for sharing that.
sure.
Jonathan, you were part of one of probably the most electrifying teams and culturally revolutionary teams in recent memory with the Super Bowl 50 Panther squad. Can you describe what it was like being a part of that team and on that amazing run that you guys had?
Oh man, it was great. We didn't feel like we would lose a game the whole year. And it's actually kind of weird though. The game that we did lose against the Falcons, um, I didn't get to play that game, but because I got hurt towards the end of the year, and they kind of, wanted me to heal up for the playoffs and stuff. But um, we knew we were going to win every game. But that week leading up to the Atlanta Falcons, everyone like noticed a total shift of like kind of being tense, and so I think the memory that sticks out for that whole year, the games that we won, it was fun. No one was tense. It was like a sure confidence, in every single body that was a part of that team and organization. Um, Cam, just how he led that team that year, and just unapologetically just being himself. It just really, for a guy like myself, even, I came out of my shell a little bit, through the leadership of Cam, being our quarterback, and so did a lot of other guys, and you know, and just thinking about your own personal brand and what that means, and not letting you know um, you know people put you in a box of you're a football player, you can't dance, you're not supposed to do that. I mean, really and truly, you look back, we were getting in trouble for dancing, and people were pointing fingers at Cam for dancing, and oh, look at these guys on the sideline taking pictures like they won the game already, and blah blah blah. And now they have organized dances, So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think 2015 Carolina Panthers were trailblazers in some form.
Definitely. Thanks for sharing that. I think it's
Mhm.
really awesome to see you talk so highly about Cam Newton with everything recently going on and how it was so difficult for him to get a job again
Sure.
in the league. And he's been such a trailblazer. And even now with Bill Belichick, he's still unapologetically himself. So thanks
Oh
for
yeah.
sharing that.
So football eventually comes to an end, but luckily for you, you have ventured into several different business endeavors, including the acquisition of Charlotte lately, a multimedia company that you and your wife own.
Mhm.
After going through the league and once you hit retirement, who helped you discover the opportunities outside of football?
It's really, through my, I invested passively in a lot of, startups and real estate throughout my playing days. And towards the end of my career, I actually took more of an interest in understanding what I was invested in, and especially in the real estate world, which is another one of my passions now. Um, but understanding, e-commerce and just understanding where this world is going and how it's ticking, um, you know, it just made sense. One of my best friends, Tony Rapaglia, his wife was working for a social media marketing driven company in San Diego, and the owner was looking to, step aside, and we said, well, what happens if he steps aside? Like, what's gonna happen to your job? I'm like, well, I guess we'll just, have to find another job. But we went in and acquired it. And my friend Tony left his job at Oracle and just committed himself, him and his wife, to the Coast Creative. And ever since then, the company has just been flying. And what's been really cool is during the pandemic, we've been actually able to be a great source of help to a lot of businesses down there in San Diego that have been struggling to stay afloat during these times. And so it's been cool not only to acquire and be a part owner in a company such as a digital marketing company, but to actually be of help to those that are actually in need. So, it definitely checks, the most important box when it comes to, what you're passionate about and whatnot. So, but yeah, I mean, and Charlotte lately, my wife is brilliant. She's the backbone to anything that I do that's smart, or that comes off smart. Anything that I say, it's kind of been said to me through her. But Charlotte lately, for us being here in Charlotte, and this is our home now, and I've been here for going on 13 or 14 years. I can't think right now, but a long time. And this is where we care for our community in a large way, and giving back to, people like, Inspire the Fire, with the youth and the involvement there with the arts. Um, Charlotte lately is a platform that we took a hold of and acquired to give local businesses, your local leaders, whether they're stay-at-home moms that have, a bunch of people tracking their blogs, and whether it's, the woman at church that opens the doors every week, that goes unnoticed, but people see that person every week. We want to highlight, local community leaders of all sorts, and give, credit to where it's due, and give Charlotte, it's, people don't really know what Charlotte is. So being able to give it in an authentic way is kind of um, our mission, and doing it through authentic advertisements, not just saying, hey, go check out this chicken spot because they have money to pay us to get in the magazine, but because it's actually good. And so that's where our heads are with that. And but yeah, I mean, I think, playing football for the time that I've had, um, I wouldn't have done myself any service if I wouldn't have tapped into, what I'm interested in, what I'm passionate about, because that's where you actually have the most resources available to you. So tapping into that while you're playing is the most important thing.
It's really great to see all the work you've been doing in the community, especially all of us here. We're involved in the creative space in some sort, so we appreciate where you're coming from.
No doubt, man. It's important.
So you already mentioned your involvement with the youth in Charlotte, and you also have a family of your own. So what are the biggest lessons you've learned from your daughter and the Charlotte community?
Patience from my daughter. And being a football player and being raised in a single family home, there's a lot of things that you miss out on, such as the little things as far as showing empathy to others. Is so important. I learned that with my daughter, definitely with my wife. It actually has helped me a lot in my marriage, having a daughter, and just being more empathetic towards things that I might not understand. So having a daughter definitely has helped me grow in that department. And just with my community, just understanding the need to just be there, to show up. A lot of people feel like, oh man, I want to do something huge to change the world. One of the biggest things that I've heard was actually from one of the founders of an organization called Convoy of Hope. He shared a message with me at this fundraiser, and he talked about his experience with Mother Teresa. And he had that same question of, man, like, I want to do something big. Like, how can I change lives like you changed lives, Mother Teresa? And her advice, which this is coming from Mother Teresa, she said, do the thing that's in front of you. So you're asking yourself the question of, man, what can I do to be a change? What can I do to help that person out? Just do it. Just do the thing that's in front of you. And if their shoes untied, tell them their shoes untied. You know what I'm saying? Like, just practice being available at the end of the day. Is definitely one of the things I learned from my community. Because when you're available, you actually find yourself in places and with people that you would have never imagined. So
you're a man of faith, and you've talked about it in previous interviews and even a few times during our time here. How has your faith and everything you have done in your career now been affected by your following of your faith?
I think what it has done is kept me balanced for sure. There's times where I've, strayed and done my own thing through my life, but what my belief in God has always done is brought me back to my center, and noticing where God is in the big scheme of things. And I think that's the biggest important factor of knowing who God is knowing that God is in everything, and being reminded of that. Even when you do fall, when you get up, you have something to lean on. Especially right now in these times where it's very uncertain for a lot of people. 2020 has been a mess of a year, but my faith in God through times like this or anything that is hard, it's a reminder that if you are aligned, with your beliefs and you're centered with the right people, and just trying to do the right things, you'll find God's favor. And through my whole life, that's pretty much my testimony, is you look at me, you see God's favor.
Lastly, you said in a previous interview that playing football was never really your dream. Having joy and not worrying about the outcome was the dream at the end of the day. So for all the athletes out there who are trying to make it to the next level, what do you say to them as they try to achieve their dreams?
Man, I would say, whatever your dream is, You know, just be where your feet are. Don't be anywhere else. You know, I think, you know, some sound advice is, you know, regret hurts more than discipline. So be disciplined to do the things that are necessary to do, you know, in the meantime, because if you don't, you'll regret it.
Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan, this has been by far one of my favorite interviews that I've had the pleasure of doing.
No doubt.
Thank you so much for your time.
I also wanted to plug right quick. We actually, as Coast Creative, we actually are doing some cool things with Locker Source, which is a company that we are helping in marketing, and they're pretty much branded by, you know, producing cardboard material, such as lockers, like a legit locker. And it's kind of like one of those things where, like, if you're a freshman going to college and you want to put something festive in your room, you can get a locker or whatever, right? And so you guys should look them up, Locker Source, and take a look at it. But I think it's pretty cool, just kind of the niche of you guys being in college right now.
Jonathan, we couldn't have asked for a better person to wrap up the year with. Really appreciate hearing from you and all of your experiences. Thank you.
No, you guys have a great day, great week, great rest of the year, and kill it in 2021.
Go Ducks.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Go Ducks.
Thank you, John.